Good morning, students. Today I will tell you that how to score full on full marks in English examination and what is going to be your paper pattern, what all things you need to keep in mind while you're giving your paper so that your hard work gives you positive results and you score full on full marks. So let's get started. Okay, so we're discussing the paper pattern of English examination. First of all, I will tell you the marks distribution and then we'll move further. Fine. So the first section is the reading comprehension, which consists of 20 marks. The next section is of reading and writing skills and your grammar section, which is of 20 marks. Okay, coming on to the next section, that is your literature section. It is of 40 marks. So as you can see, students, the major weightage of your examination, of your English examination, is that of English literature. So if you focus on all the chapters, your poems and your literature part, you will definitely be able to score much well, adding on to your overall total. Fine. So this makes it a total of 80 marks. Fine. Am I clear? Okay. So now one by one we will discuss each section. Okay. Starting with the reading comprehension part, here you will have unseen passage. Now, when you solve the unseen passage, you will keep in mind that when you start reading, before that you solve all the questions. Like you read all the questions so that you are able to solve the unseen passage very easily. Once you read the question, you have in your mind like what you have to find out. Say for example, if they've asked you any kind of synonym, any kind of antonym, any kind of a common word. So how will you find it unless and until you have not read it? So first read the question. The thing to be kept in mind is that you have to read the questions first and then move on to reading of the unseen passages. Fine. Initially, you will be given 15 minutes of reading time. Use that 15 minutes of reading time very, very effectively and try and do solve and read the unseen passage so that you have time later for all these questions as well. Fine. So this was all about your reading comprehension, that you have to first read the questions and then solve the unseen passage, and utilize the 15 minutes reading time in reading the unseen passage itself. Fine. So that you are done with it and have time for the other question as well. Okay. Now coming on to the writing section and your grammar part, okay, which is of 20 marks. Okay. In the grammar section, you will have 12 MCQs. Out of 12, you have to do 10 questions. Okay. Now, common mistakes that you make is while solving those 12 questions is that you have to only solve 10 of them. Okay. While you're solving them, definitely do mention A, B, C, D, whichever option you are selecting. You do not have time, do not write the whole answer. Like say for example, you've selected option A. You don't need to write the explanation part. Only write A, B, C, D. If you do not write A, B, C, D, you will not be allotted marks. Fine. Out of 12 questions, only attempt 10 questions. Okay, do not go for attempting all the 12 questions because you have a choice. Okay, so whatever suits you, read all the questions and then try and to solve it. Generally in grammar part, you will have questions. One question will be of reported speech, then from the tenses, modals, determiners, subject verb agreement, as we have done and discussed in the class. Calmly, with all peace, read the question twice. You will definitely find answer. There's nothing difficult in the grammar section. Fine. Coming on to the writing section, you will have 2 questions, and I say that these are such questions which are very scoring. Okay, 5 mark you will have 2 questions and it is going to be very, very scoring. You can get full on full marks here in 5 mark question. One question will be your writing part. Either you'll be given to write any of the letters, say for example, letter to editor, letter of inquiry, or to the manager or something like that. You know the format very, very clearly. So write the format properly, write the details properly. Free marks of 5 marks here when you're given letter to write here. Fine. So this is very scoring part, and even if you perform well in both of these, you're bound to at least get 4.5 per question, which makes a very good score. Okay, so this is the most scoring part and pay attention to it. Read all the format properly. Okay, now while writing the letters, okay, the points that you need to keep in mind is that first it's going to be your sender's address. Okay, when you are writing the date, I have told you many times that you write the date properly. Say for example, if you're writing any date, so month जो है वो आप properly पूरा लिखेंगे. ठीक है. Say for example you're writing 29th January, 2024. Okay, if you do not write January properly, do not put the comma here, your marks will be deducted. Okay, now in the new format we do not write to and the manager, directly we come on to the manager. Very common mistake that you people make is कि ये first alphabet capital नहीं लिखते हैं. Manager is a designation, so any sales manager, principal, whomsoever you're writing to, if you do not write the first alphabet capital, your marks are definitely going to be deducted. Okay, so that you need to keep in mind. Then after writing all these details, you will come and write the body, and after the body, last mein thanking you, yours truly TRULYE is not there, I've told you many times, so keep these things in mind. Okay, and last mein you will write whatever the name has been given to you in the question, and you will not write your own name. Okay, and definitely you will be given some or the other name in the question. That you have to keep in mind. Keep your paper very neat, clean, tidy, so that whenever the examiner sees your paper, he's so surprised and so happy to see your copy that he gives good marks very easily. Okay, so you keep that approach in mind. Avoid less amount of cutting. There should be no cutting in your paper. Your paper should be very neat, clean and tidy. Fine. Next thing that you can keep in mind is that by mistake, by chance it happens, okay, that you make a mistake. Okay, do not use a whitener and you're rubbing it with whitener and using eraser. No, you've written a word wrong, ठीक है, आप सिर्फ एक छोटा सा ऐसे cut लगा देंगे and then you will write the word again. Okay, the neat cut, and do not scribble it like this, or no, that doesn't look nice. Okay, so these are the mistakes that you make in the examination, and please do not do that. Fine, clear? Okay, so this was all about your letter part. Okay, now coming on to the 5-mark question again of analytical paragraph. You will have 5 marks for one analytical paragraph. Analytical paragraph is such that you read the question twice. Okay, try and do find out what he is trying to ask you in the question. Okay, once you are very clear with what he has asked, describe it. Okay, describe it properly. Change 2 to 3 paragraphs and write, stick to the word limit. They will tell you how much that you have to write. If no word limit has been given to you, they have not told you that how much you need to write, what will you do is write 1 page and change at least 2 to 3 paragraphs. Okay, when you do that, your paper is going to be very neat, clean, tidy. Try and write whatever the examiner has asked, and in that same context. If they have asked you to give your viewpoint, then only add it, otherwise no. Fine, am I clear? Very good. Okay, next, moving on to the literature section, which contains 40 marks. So now your major scoring part is here of the literature section, 40 marks. Okay, read all the poems very thoroughly. Read all the paragraphs, all your chapters very properly. Whatever in the class we have underlined, star marked, considered as important, please read them thoroughly. Fine, do not consider is that we have studied in the class, we will remember it, we will memorize it. It is very good, but do not be in overconfidence. Once go through it so that you know what you have studied and it's a good revision to you. Fine. Next, in the literature section, you are asked 5 questions of 1 mark from either of the poems. You'll be given choice also, that's a plus for you. Okay, now what will you do? You will memorize all the names of the poet very clearly, very correctly. Okay, because in the poem, when the question comes from the poem, definitely there's going to be one question from any of the poets. They will ask you that which this extract has been taken from which poem and what is the name of the poet. So spellings also of the poet very correctly, and the title you remember only. Fine, so that is clear. Next, another question of 5 mark. 5 questions of 1 mark each will be asked from any of the passage. So they will give an extract based on any of the passage, and then you have to answer those questions in 1 lines. To do all these questions very correctly, the point is that go thoroughly through the chapters, through the poems, through important lines that we have underlined. Okay, poems mein you will be asked any of the poetic devices, any of the rhyming schemes. Rhyming scheme, whatever passage has been given to you, whatever extract of the poem has been given to you, you read the last words, you will automatically get the right rhyming scheme. AABB, ACAD, whatever it is, okay, AAC, whatever it is, you will easily get it once you are reading the passage, okay. Or ek bari before going to the examination, you go through the rhyming scheme as well. And one poetic device, like for example simile, metaphor, personification, that we have studied in the examination, 1 question from that. So you know 2 to 3 questions what will they ask in the poem, that we have priorly told you, so you're well prepared about it. Great, fine. Next, coming on to this part, the literature part that we're currently talking about. Reading part has been done. In the last section, you will have 2 marks question, 3 marks question, and the last question will be of 6 marks, which will generally be a value based question. Okay, and the question in which you have to describe the whole summary of the chapter, or the main extract on which the chapter was based. Okay, what have you learned from the chapter, the basic part they want to know. Okay, so 6 mark question, attempt very smartly. When you're coming to the 6 mark question, it's going to be at last. Okay, so in 2 mark question, in 3 mark question, though you know the whole story, we have taught you everything, it is there on your tips, you will not write everything, you will only write to the point. If it is 2 mark question, 3 to 4 lines are enough. If it is 3 or 4 mark question, 5 to 6 lines or 3 to 4 lines are enough. Do not write more than that, in spite of the fact you know it. You will write to the point answer. Writing to the point answer saves your time. Examiner also knows that you're not bluffing around and you're not moving around the whole chapter. You've given whatever is asked. It makes the answer very effective as well. Okay, do not write the whole story and then elaborating it will make no sense. And by doing this, by writing to the point, you save time for your 6 mark question also. Okay, so 1 or 2 6 mark question, value based. Okay, in 6 mark question, writing 3/4 page to 1 page is acceptable. Then also there also write to the point. Do not describe the whole story unnecessarily. If they've asked you this part of the story, you describe that part only in proper details. Fine. And I think that is all for the English examination. I hope you do all the best, come out with flying colors. All the best, do well. Thank you.